Small group leader burnout is a devastating experience. When group leaders exit the ministry, it affects everybody's morale. The people in the group lose their shepherd. Up-and-coming leaders lose the opportunity to be trained by someone with experience and someone with seasoning. So it's never good when small group leaders burn out, but I want to encourage you that if you follow just a few basic suggestions, then you'll be able to stay in the game for the long haul. Number one is give away responsibilities. Anyone with too much to do feels overwhelmed, and usually that work just doesn't get done very well. But when you give ministry responsibilities away to people in your group, not only do you feel more energized and the burden is lifted somewhat from you, then it helps other people grow. And the work actually gets done better because you're not trying to do it all yourself. And so you'll stay in the game longer if you give away responsibilities. Here's number two, pray daily for group members. You'll start to burn out if you begin to feel like you're the one who's responsible for transforming the lives of people in your group. Don't forget that God is really the only one who can grow his people. And so if you start to pray for each person in your group by name daily, that's a great constant reminder that God really is the one who can challenge and who can change people's lives. So pray. The third suggestion is this: use your co-leaders. Too many group leaders have co-leaders that they seldom use enough and seldom give enough opportunity to share the ministry with them. Give your co-leaders opportunities to lead often, especially when you find that your world is just moving too fast. That's going to have two great effects. Number one, it's going to grow those leaders. And number two, it's going to give you a little bit of room to breathe. Here's a fourth suggestion to avoid burning out. Don't host the group meetings in your own home. One of the greatest mistakes a small group leader can make, especially when you're starting to feel under a lot of stress, is to feel like you have to host the group meeting in your own home week in and week out. Because, first of all, you're going to be shepherding the members of your group. You're preparing for the weekly discussion. Then on top of that, you got to clean the house. You got to clean up after everybody leaves. You might feel like you need to bring the snack or cook the meal or part of the meal, whatever it is. That's enough to burn anybody out. Don't do it. See, if you give the hosting away to someone else, that not only relieves you of some stress in your own life, but it also helps other people develop. And there's people in the group who have the gift of hospitality who would love to do that, who may not want to lead a prayer time or lead a conversation, but they can share hosting. So be sure to let other people have turn, at least on a regular basis, of hosting the meeting in their home. Now here's another suggestion if you're starting to feel burned out. Don't try to be the group's resident theologian. What I mean by that is you shouldn't feel like you need to research the answers to all the theological and life questions that come up in your meeting every week. When you allow other people to go find the answers to their questions, that's good for them. That take responsibility for learning how to do that. You can point them in the right direction. You can point them to the resources, but let them do the work. Because what's going to happen is they're going to grow in their own knowledge of Scripture, and you're going to then be relieved of some responsibilities that maybe you've been taking upon yourself. So you don't have to be the theological master for everybody's question every week. Now here's another thing, along the lines of what we've already been saying. If you want to avoid burning out, then take turns leading the Bible study conversation. In a healthy group, leading a Bible study discussion is not rocket science. We don't expect the people who lead those conversations to be theological geniuses, because we have great tools available at pursueGOD.org to help people do it. By making it simple, then you can let people know that they're going to have a turn, encourage them to have a turn, and schedule it in advance so that other people can help you lead those Bible study conversations week in and week out. Now here's another suggestion. Be sure that you're planning ahead. Living in crisis mode is a surefire way to get burned out, because it creates this inner tension within you that makes you start to wonder whether you really have the time or the talent to be a small group leader. Planning ahead helps to alleviate that inner tension and the doubt that it causes about your role. And planning ahead also helps you to reduce your load because it allows you to get other people involved. Realistically, one of the reasons that small group leaders carry the whole weight for all of these responsibilities is because we're just going from meeting to meeting and not planning ahead. And when you don't plan ahead, you don't have time to ask other people and help other people to get involved. So planning ahead is really important. And we have some great resources at pursueGOD.org/small groups that will help you to learn how to plan ahead. And then there's one last thing. If you want to avoid burnout, ask your coach for help. No one ever intended for you to go it alone. And so when you face a difficult decision or a situation that's really hard to handle, you can gain wisdom for that by talking to your small group coach or your pastor. They can help relieve some of the tension. They can maybe give you an objective view of the situation and help you unearth a new path that you hadn't thought of. Now, leading a small group is not always easy, but it is rewarding and it is impactful. And so I want to encourage you to choose one suggestion from this list that's going to help you to keep doing it and doing it well for a long time to come.